Hey guys, so I made the defense video. Hopefully this one will not be as long because we don't have as much complication in our offensive execution. So we don't run any kind of crazy offensive sets. Mostly we end up just giving the ball to Shige and seeing what happens. There are some things that we could probably work on, and we'll go through a couple of tips here. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this short, and we'll go from there. So, all right, the initial offense is being initiated in the half court here. So, half court offense is important. It's when the defense is set and the offense has to do technical things to get good shots. In this frame, you'll see the point guard has the ball. This is usually Shige in ideal situations when he is with us. And then everybody else is kind of just going to their positions. The defense is set. Usually we see zone defense. There's several reasons for this. A lot of the teams just play zone all the time like we do. And if they don't play zone all the time, we'll see man-to-man occasionally. Usually they end up switching to zone, though, because they realize pretty quickly that we don't have a lot of three-point shooting, and we do have a very good penetrating guard. And because of that, there's no reason for them to not play zone. If we do see man for any length of time, that's good for us because we can do some basic screen and roll actions and things like that. So the basic screen and roll or pick and roll, whatever you want to call it, is you have like your five or somebody else come up to set a screen on the defender of the ball handler, right? So let's say this is Shige or whoever else, and let's say this is Stephen Tubbs. This is me. Also, one note: if you ever see me coming towards you when you have the ball, don't throw me the ball. I'm not going to do anything useful with it. I'm coming towards you so I can set a screen. Just run your man as hard as you can into me and use the screen that way, because that's going to be your best chance at getting a decent shot. You don't need to worry about if my feet are set yet. Let me worry about that, or whoever else is setting the screen, and you can get some good daylight that way. So anyway, in this case, the five comes up to set the screen on the number one defender, and he brings his defender with him in the man-to-man. This is good because it leaves the rim open for cuts from any of the wing players, and it also initiates the pick and roll. So you'll see here that the point guard goes around the screen set by the five, and his man gets caught on it. And this is good because he has some options now. He can just shoot it from there if he wants because he's now got a reasonably open shot, or he can turn the corner and continue his momentum and go towards the rim and get a good layup. Something that does happen regularly, if the wing over here sees that this is happening and that Shige or whoever else is handling the ball has beat his man to the rim, he'll come over to help. This creates a open shot for the wing, and you can do a kick-out pass. There are some other little things you can do in the half court. If the five comes up, the five defender, if he sees that screen happening and he comes up to pressure the ball handler, that's actually good because he doesn't have a chance to drop back and defend the rim like he would in the other scenario. The five can then roll to the rim, and he's got to make that determination. If the lane's open, he needs to roll in that case, but if not, then he's got to decide if he thinks it's worth it. But then the ball handler can just throw him the ball, throw a lob or a bounce pass or whatever that gets him the ball and gets him a good layup against either a smaller defender than the five who was originally guarding him, or like in this diagram, and open shot at the rim. So there's some other little fiddly things you can do. Normally we see, like I said, we see zone, but even in zone you can do some screens. You can't run a pick and roll against a zone. That's just because the zone is designed to prevent you from doing that. It doesn't work. But you can do some off-ball screens and things like that. So normally, like in the defensive video, all the stuff that were weaknesses against the zone, we can use those things to our advantage if we're playing against the zone. So the high post is something that we do not do enough of. Typically this will be probably Travis is good for the high post. Usually I'm not going to be in this position because I struggle to catch the ball and to make passes without turning it over. So that's bad for a high post zone breaking position. But Travis can catch the ball and he can make a shot from here, and he is a good passer, so he would be here a lot of times. If he's out of the game, Jake is also good in this position. He's not as big, but he is a very good ball handler, and he is an extremely good shooter at this range. So that's another good option for that position. And like I said, for all the intricacies of that, you can see the previous video about the high post defense. Just read it all backwards, and you'll see what you need to do for high post offense. So there's some other things though here. Like I said, you can set some screens and things. So let's say we initiate the offense here, and the post is getting denied like it should be, and our wing has the ball. This is something that Shige does really well. He will oftentimes cut, and because he's so quick, it puts the defense on its heels and kind of scrambles them a little bit. And he can get a lot of open looks in the lane that way, or at least decent looks, because his cuts are so fast. So cuts are a really good thing in any type of offense, whether you're playing against zone or man, because it surprises the defender who's supposed to be watching you, and he can get you a decent shot. So a lot of times, like let's say the ball handler, Shige, whoever else in our case, drives to the hoop, right? Let's say he's cut and he's caught a pass, or he's just driven, beat his man, he's gone to the hoop. Usually the 5 in the zone and oftentimes a wing will both come to get help defense. And this is good for us because he either gets out of this situation with a foul, or he'll just beat both of them anyway and get a shot, or usually good things happen. If not, he has the opportunity to dump it off to the 5 and who gets an open layup. So that's a good outcome. There's some other interesting things that you can do as well. So a couple of examples of a screen, like an off-ball screen you can do against the zone, is the 5 can come over. Let's say you've either got the high post player who catches the ball, or you have the guard penetrate to the free throw line. The 5 can step out and screen the wing, and then the 3 can run in and then get a good pass for a open look at the rim. Or if the wing defender is cheating in because he's scared of what's happening here in the lane, then the 5 can go outside of him and set a, I think this is called a pin down screen or something like that, where he will screen the defender from going out to the three-point line, which gives the passer, whether it's the high post player or the penetrating guard, it gives them 2 options for a decent open look. And if the defender does recover, then they have a quick pass to the high post player in that case. So those are some good things you can do against the zone. All right, and that's pretty much half-court offense, the way we run it. We don't do anything fancy because of our limited personnel capabilities. But the other component of offense is transition offense, right? Where you get a rebound and a quick pass out, or you get a turnover, or something happens where you're out in the open court and you're rushing as fast as you can to the opponent's goal to get a basket. So there's a principle in transition offense called filling lanes, where you want to have as many of the vertical lanes of the court filled as possible. So there's three lanes basically, and you have the ball handler, whoever has the ball, in the middle, and then you have two wings who run with the ball handler in transition typically. The ball can be on the wing as well, but it's better in the middle because then they have two options potentially to give the ball to. And normally what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go in a straight line these directions, right? And because that opens up the most options for a good shot. Now, what happens is the ball handler, so if you're behind the play, you'll want to run up and so that's called a trailer. When you're behind the play in transition, you're going to want to get in position for a three-point shot in case the ball handler gets stuck and needs to dump it off, and then you get a good shot. Usually in that case, the ball handler stopped at the rim, so that's what happens. But if you're running the wing, and you're ahead of the ball, you don't want to just go and run to the three-point line and stop, right? Especially if you're ahead of the ball. If you're ahead of the ball, you definitely don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to cut to the basket. So let's say there are a couple of defenders back. There's one behind the play, and he's not able to do anything. But they've stopped the ball handler, whether they stop him at the three-point line or the free throw line or closer. The wing players want to cut to the basket because this guy can then pass the ball, and then you get an open transition layup anyway. So, again, when you're running in your lanes in transition, you want to run out and get ahead of the ball if possible, and that way you can cut to the basket and get a very high percentage shot on a layup. So, but anyway, that's all I've got for offense for now. Like I said, hopefully this video was shorter than the last one, and hopefully it is helpful. So.